This video is sponsored by Wildlife Command Center Coffee. More about them at the end of the video. Hey everybody, it's me, John Ward, and I am back for the third Two Filmmakers Reviewing One Film. And today my guest is...
Jack Hunter.
Yes, you are. And Jack, you are my guest. Thank you for being here. Please go first. What would you like to tell me about the new Scream? Why do you like Scream? Whatever you would like.
Well, okay, I think in all honesty, and you can chime in too. Here. I mean, we could do it like that too, because there's pros and a lot of cons to this film. Now, when we first talked about wanting to do this film, I was head over heels for it to the extreme. I was like loving it. And then the realization of me being a writer kicked in. And I started going, like looking at every single thing they did in the movie. Now, I say this, I am a huge fan of Ghostface, Scream, all Scream related. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. See, on my side, you're over here. You're right there. So you're pointing.
Yeah, we're like the opposite. If I see now, I'm pointing at you with my real finger,
okay,
but
here,
the finger
I'll
on screen.
There we go.
So
okay, I switched it. So now you're pointing at me. Yeah, there. So yeah, so this is a 3D printed Ghostface. I did on my printer. My fiance painted it. Gonna have to do another layer because it's kind of thick.
That's very cool.
But oh yeah, 3D printing, you can do amazing things with it. But that's not why we're here. So yes. So like I said, chime in as much as you want. So I really, upon first viewing, I saw it opening day, and I'm so freaking glad I did, because the spoilers, man, that is what I think pisses me off the most about new movies coming out. We've waited 10 years since 2011, since Scream 4, for a Scream 5. Okay, we've had the TV series, first 2 seasons, and the Halloween special were great. And then the other producers took it over for season 3 on VH1, and it was a lackluster, to say the least. Only 6 episodes. It was complete crap. They actually went back to the original mask, which looked like a cheap mask from Walmart. They didn't really put any work into it like they do with these, because each Scream film, the mask changes slightly, like every time. There's really significant changes you can see in mask, and most people be like, oh, it's all the same. No, it's not. Go look on Google it. Every mask is different from each movie. But upon first viewing, I loved it. And like I said, I'm glad I watched it the first day, because it was spoiled for me probably like later at night or that next week, the weekend, on who the killers were. Are we allowed spoilers here? That's my question too.
Yes. Oh yeah. It's been out long enough. So spoilers alert for people. If you haven't seen it, click out, go watch it, then come back. But yes, spoilers.
Okay, cool. Well, in Scream, the way they did a lot of things in the movie, I did love. Like, I loved the kills. I thought this film had the best kills out of the entire franchise. At least one. And it was for this guy's character right here. You know, when it showed the knife going straight through the neck into the door, like, you've never seen that in a Scream film. And coming from the writers and directors of Ready or Not, you were expecting something gruesome, but I didn't know how gruesome it would be. So I really love the kills in this film. There were some pointless kills, pointless characters. I think that's what kind of upset me a little bit. Like, this character over here, super sexy and beautiful. You know, they threw her character to the curb. You barely saw her. I liked the suspense of trying to guess. Like, when I went into this movie, I went in like, I couldn't go in watching it the first time as a filmmaker and a writer. I just wanted to enjoy it. So I let it go. It's really, really hard to do that, but I had to, because I love the franchise. And so going through the film, so many plot holes that didn't make sense. I think mainly one with Judy, because she is his mom. Okay. So where was this kid in Scream 4? You didn't know about this guy. He just pops up. Oh yeah, Judy Hicks is my mom. Now she's the sheriff. For the first film, Dewey was the sheriff, and Deputy Judy Hicks, with the lemon square, was the deputy. So in 10 years, where the hell did this kid come from? Like, was he like with the dad or whatever? I did like the tie-in with the character, her and him being twins and being Randy's niece and nephew. I thought that was a great tie-in and the homage they made to Jamie Kennedy's character. And he actually loved it as well. He loved that, what they do for his character throughout the franchise. I don't know. I was really upset, and it was expected. Like, I'm expecting you to jump in anytime, John. It's cool.
I'm just listening so I can say stuff when you're done. So because I'm just kind of absorbing it. I'm soaking it all in.
Absorbing. Oh, okay. Don't want to scare everyone. Don't absorb me too much. Let's see. Dewey's death, that was expected. We thought it was going to happen in Scream 4. In all honesty, we all, like as fans, we thought this was going to happen. But it didn't make sense. And I'll say this. There's 2 killers revealed at the end of the movie. And the killer that says, it was an honor. And that's where they fucked us with the trailer. I knew it wasn't going to be Sydney, that it's an honor. I knew that was not her. And that's another thing too. I love the fact that half the shit they used in the trailer was not in the movie. And they did it just for the movie, like for the trailer.
Okay. That I am now I am going to chime in. One, I hated the trailer. I hated it. I even did a post on it, then deleted it. You gave me a little laughy emoji when I did it. And the trailer to me, with the metal Ghostface and the flamethrower, and the guy is wearing like a cutoff shirt, so it's almost like a tank top. And then there's also the shot of Ghostface's shadow up against the wall. These things would have been cool. They're not. That would have been cool. The shadow's not in the movie, which I think is fucked up because I thought it was a great shot. And the metal Ghostface and the flamethrower were in the film for 3 seconds in the Stab 8 trailer. Don't advertise the movie and don't call the trailer metallic Ghostface flamethrower to make people think that's what you're now doing. Because to me, I went, this is amazing. This is going to be awesome. This is going to be great. We're not just doing the regular Ghostface with the knife anymore. We're doing something different. And I thought that looked really cool. And so when I saw the movie, I'm like, what? Because I've seen it twice now. I'm like, where are these shots? And I know obviously they put stuff in the trailer that's not going to be in the movie. But in this case, because those trailers were so short, they're maybe about a minute and a half. Don't fool the audience. Why are you trying to fool them and get them excited? So when I saw the film, I hated it just because of that. I don't hate the movie. I shouldn't say that. I was just really pissed.
I see me. I loved it. I love the trailer for that reason, because there's so many people out there, like these super fans, that will dissect the trailer. And the fact that they use that sequence in the movie, in the trailer, and it really wasn't a part of the movie, was very genius to me, because it threw people off. And I love that. I really
it's cheating
seeing trailers. Yeah, it's definitely cheating. It's getting them excited. But I knew it wasn't going to be in a movie, because one,
how could you tell that
it has a fucking flamethrower? Okay,
but they can now. If Jason can go to space and become metal and get the metal mask, and And all
Yeah,
these.
That's fantasy. That's different. This is I guess reality horror. You know, things that could be.
So
There's no supernatural.
keep it boring. Keep it just like it's been for the last 4 movies. This isn't Wes Craven. So do something different. Make it your own. You know, have a different. See, you talked about the TV series. I liked the first show that was on MTV, and so I saw both first seasons and that Halloween special. It took me 3 times to make it through the pilot because I didn't like the mask change. I wasn't grooving on it, you know, that it wasn't Woodsboro, but I got into it after that. I gave it a chance. Wes Craven gave it its blessing, you know. Yeah. So I got into it. The next one where they went back to the original mask, I actually like that because it matched Scream closer.
Okay. I what I did not like about that was the pilot of that one. And the reason I say that is because they stereotyped races to the max in that first episode of the school. And, you know, I get that the school they were in was like an urban school, but the way they wrote the white teachers and how they were talking to the kids was very disrespectful. And just like using the slang and those bad terms, you know, I didn't like that. I that's the only part that really kind of like made me cringe a little bit. I get where they're coming from, trying to be real, but you know, like not all those white guys are like that, and you know the way they stereotyped it. That's what I didn't like about it. But I think the killer reveals for that season was kind of, in a sense, one of them obviously was obvious, but the other one, the whole subplot of it just didn't make sense. The new series for I Know What You Did Last Summer totally stole that plot. And that was the most shittiest series they could have rebooted.
I have not watched
without
it.
Using original character. Oh, don't, bruh. It's if you're a fan of the original 2, not the third one.
I'm a fan of all 3. I once again, just like part 3, which is what I wanted them to do for the trailer for the new Scream, they took the fisherman and they put him in a ski lodge. You take that original character that's by the ocean, it's by the fishing boats, and then you put him in a ski resort. That to me is interesting, much like a metal Ghostface.
That's not I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah, that's the third one.
That's not that one.
Yeah, it is.
No.
Yes.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. They're in a town. No.
Yes, I've seen it like 3 times. It's got Don Shanks plays the fisherman. It starts off with a prank at a carnival that goes wrong, or an amusement park, and because it has like multiple fishermen coming in, and then that goes to them at the ski lodge, and the ski lodge is basically closed. There's patches of snow, but you constantly see the ski thing, the lift always going up and stuff like that. And that was
okay. I'll have to check rewatch it.
And it's the ghost, technically, like the ghost of the fisherman.
See, that's where I draw the line. It's almost like they copied the so since we're still on topic because it's all the same era.
Same area. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. They did the same thing Urban Legends 3 did. Urban Legends 3 is just Prom Night 2, Hello Mary Lou 2.0.
Pretty much. Yeah.
All that film is. It's the same fucking movie. And I don't like when you take it to a supernatural aspect. I hate that. I think because that is cheating in a sense. Like you're taking away what the original 2 films built, which was a whodunit mystery. Who is the killer? You know, and when they bring out supernatural ghosts and shit, it just ruins it for me. You know, in a sense, that's kind of like, I love Prom Night 2, but I love the first one because it is a whodunit mystery, one of the first ones. You know, it was around Terror Train and all those Friday 13th era of killers. But I think again, like I just hate the supernatural aspect. But okay, so going back to Scream, I I did not like the plot holes and how they did things. I absolutely loved. Some people hated it. Billy Loomis back. I fucking
Awful.
loved it.
Awful. And I would use your word, fucking awful. It is one of the literal worst ideas I have ever seen in a sequel. One, first of all, the actress that they got to play the role, a piece of wood. A rock could act better than her. She has no personality in this movie whatsoever. Her little sister was great, but she was horrible.
Ortega, she is. Ooh,
she is really good. Like, she was giving 100%. And if the woman who plays the older sister was giving 100%, then I don't know what to say. But the whole thing with Billy is, one, first of all, if Billy at 17 did fuck somebody else to then produce her, then that means everything that he says in the first Scream film is bullshit. And it sucks. And that makes the first film go down. Because if Billy's whole reason for wanting to kill Nev is because her fucking slut whore mother was tramping around town and broke up his family, which is why his mother goes after her in the second one, and that's this whole revenge thing, then why is he fucking around to produce a daughter? So that
never say when. They never say when.
He has to be 17. He has to be like 16 or 17.
But it was before him and Nev got together. It been
but he's still doing the same thing. If I call my mother, "You're a crack addict," and then I start doing crack, I'm a crack addict. It's just it completely,
hypocrisy. Yeah,
it goes completely against it and
against the rules.
Now she would probably be able to see what he looked like, because she could look at a yearbook or maybe photos that she found online or something. How, just without blood, how would she know what Billy looked like with blood all on him, with his shirt torn? How would she know what he looked like in the kitchen during Scream? And how would she know what his voice sounded like? Because there's no recording, unless he was like maybe like the DJ at school or something. She would have no idea. The only reference that she would truly have to him is Stab 1. And that would be, who's it? Luke Wilson.
Luke Wilson. Yeah.
And then she would be going, duh, like he does in the movie, like he hits his head like a dumb guy. So that would be her reference, is Billy in that film. So how would she have all this information? And then he does a freaking Obi-Wan Kenobi at the end, where he kind of like smiles at her in the mirror or glass, whatever it was, and to say like, it's okay. It's okay. If you wiped out Billy completely, the movie would have moved right on. It would have made no difference. It's a completely pointless plot. There.
Okay. This is where I'll say, John, it's a movie. It's a movie, John.
It doesn't matter.
And I do agree with that. And I also did not like the fact that they screen grabbed a scene from Scream at the very end, right when Billy goes crazy, or it's obvious he's crazy, and put it on the TV in a documentary that we see when the twins the twin is explaining the new rules of the requel. I think me and Dustin Harvard talked about it for hours after we both saw the movie and stuff, and we're like, how the hell did they get that photo, that one photo? We as Scream fans know that photo. There was no cameras around. The guy that had a camera was already dead at that point in a van. How did they get that screenshot in that little stab documentary, behind the Woodsboro murders? Do you remember what I'm talking about when they're on the couch and they're looking at the TV, right?
I kind of, yeah, because none of that would make sense. It doesn't. Unless you go off of what you just said, it's a movie. I mean, but I can't look at it that way.
But I'm countering it and agreeing with you at the same time. So I'm just that part. I don't know. I fucking love Skeet Ulrich. I do, as an actor.
I have no problem with him. I think if they wanted to do something that wasn't the way to do it. The entire time we were, and maybe this plays along with your trailer thing, so maybe you like this. We were led to believe that Stu was back. That was the big thing. Matthew Lillard was being interviewed. He was, Wes Craven as a joke had him in Scream 2 in the party scene. So people spotted him.
Actually, just for that, he actually showed up on set because he were filming, and Wes said, "Yeah, go in the background, just go do something."
Yeah, he came by to visit, and he's like, "It'd be funny. Go stand in the background."
And it has been confirmed he is still alive because he was written in as the killer for Scream 3. He was paid a lump sum of money to be in Scream 3, but then Columbine happened and they had to scrap that original script. And Kevin used that script for his Fox series called The Follow-Up. I'd never seen the series, which I need to check out, but it's the same premise. Use the same thing, for adults. So he is still alive, and so is Kirby.
Kirby. They say could be alive. They've also said that with Stu,
she is alive because so when they show the clip of the fire thing, you see it in the right hand corner. Kirby interviewed about the Woodsboro murders, so she is alive. They just
on the YouTube page. It's like one of the videos up here. That's right.
So it's the one with Stu. It says Stu. And if you caught how Dewey said, "Oh, he's just a loony," that means he's still present. He's still alive. He says that when he's
supposed to be in prison.
Right.
That's the thing, is that it's supposed to be prison. Yeah. So
but one theory, one reality thing. Okay, yes, it is a movie. I just said that, but we had those TVs back in the 90s, man. That thing is heavy as fuck. He'd have some brain damage. He'd be a... we see him electrocuted. His head would be crushed in.
Those things are heavy as hell. A lot of the times you had to have two people move one of those. But it's and they also killed one of the bad guys in Mother's Day, that film Mother's Day from Lloyd Kaufman back in the 80s. Is the guy...
I've never... Wait, I haven't seen that movie.
It's an awesome flick. It's Trauma. Don't watch the remake. The remake is horrible. But the girl, she gets a TV and smashes it over his head, and he gets electrocuted and dies. So it's
Nightmare on Elm Street 3. Time, bitch.
And she gets all electrocuted.
Yeah. So
they like TVs in these things. The first Nightmare on Elm Street, Johnny Depp gets pulled into his bed with a TV.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I can accept Stu being alive. That's fine because I like Stu. We like Matthew Lillard. I can accept what's her face from part 4 being alive. What's her name?
Oh, Kirby.
Who's my favorite character in the movie? Yeah, she's great in it. Love her. She's like every film geek's dream. So I can accept that.
Yeah.
I just hated that they were interviewing Stu all the time, or Matthew Lillard all the time for part 5. And the thing is, and I knew why they were doing it, was one, of course, to throw us off after I saw the film, but also the whole ending of the film takes place at his house. Now, that I got a problem with is how do none of these people know this is Stu's house? None of them know this is Stu's house.
And I thought Gail was a killer. And here's why. When Amber... so I'll go back. Wait, let's. Okay, so I thought Gail was a killer the whole time because she wanted to get that new fame. I really thought she's guiding everyone to do it, and this may make sense at this next point I'm going to make. So this character, Amber, her and Richie are the killers at the end of the movie. This little tiny thing overpowered this beast? Fuck no. Hell no. No. I don't care if he's disabled. A grown ass man to a twink of a kid? Hell no. No way, no how. And she's like, when I was killing him. No, you weren't. No, that was someone else. That is my theory. There is a third killer because when you see the height difference, as he's killing Dewey, the stunt guy is over 6 foot, like 6'1" or something. So he's obviously bigger than David Arquette. So for him to power over him, that's insane. That's insane.
I'm not gonna. I'm not. I don't think that there's another killer. There is in, what is it? They say, is it part 2 that there's supposed to be, that there's could be 3 killers, or is it part 1?
Roman was the third killer, organizing everything with Billy and Stu in part 1, going after his mom.
So part 1, they say there could be 3. So in this, when I was rewatching all the films before I went to go see the new one, I was looking at height, because even Emma Roberts, who I absolutely love and have a major crush on, sorry, you could be blown away by the wind. There is no way.
5'2", 5'4", one of those. Yeah,
it's like a weight ratio, and you can't. And so that's another thing that bugged me about these. And people have done videos on them on YouTube. We'll talk about different slasher films. Puppet Master is one. Like, why can Blade from Puppet Master kill people when all you have to do is just take and throw them away? Like it doesn't make any sense. Chucky's the same thing.
Yeah. So
they even made a comment in the Chucky series that Chucky goes, "You didn't expect me to be so strong, did you?" Because they know. And the remake too, which I hated, the Child's Play remake, but they do make a comment in there where they have to all 3 hold Chucky down to get like the batteries out of him.
But so, he's an animatronic. At that point, that kind of makes sense. He's a fucking machine.
I hated that fucking movie. Everybody who made that film should be kicked out of Hollywood. Oh God,
I love it. I want to sequel.
Nope, never happened. Never happened. Nope.
Well, yeah, but
it didn't make enough money. They would rather just continue with the regular Chucky series. So
but seen the fucking champions. Yeah.
But I mean, it's even this one. I didn't like the stuff with Randy's cousins. I thought it was dumb. I don't mind them being twins. I just don't think we need a Randy in every single movie. It's like, come on.
If they want to, well, I mean, dude, that's the trope.
Why can't Dewey be the Randy? If they're going to kill Randy, I mean, if they're going to kill Dewey, why not make Dewey the new Randy? So now, since this has happened 4 other times, why not make him? Right,
but in the very beginning of the movie,
he is telling stuff. Yeah. So why bring in the cousins?
For cultural appropriation. I don't know. I guess. And like, who the fuck is their dad? And there is a theory that Joel from part 2, the cameraman, is their dad. So,
yes, because they don't look, and I know they're cousins, but they do not look like Randy at all. At all.
Thank God they didn't get their mother's looks. Thank God they didn't get their mother's looks.
But I mean, I'm talking. They don't. I mean, they're not white. They're not. I mean, so the family must be kind of like this multi-ethnic family, because they don't look like they would come from Randy's family. What's her face who plays Randy's sister? Okay, I could see that from Welcome to the Dollhouse.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's definitely yeah. But like the way she looked, compared to the kids, it's like, okay, are they adopted? Like you don't get that closure of where the fuck they came from. And honestly, how the hell are you going to survive that with the one twin in the end? How did he because Amber went ham on him outside and slaughtered his ass. And then he's in the ambulance doing this to, in a quick shot to show he's alive. Like,
maybe it was a Dewey thing. At the end of Scream, he died. And then they did a take 2. And Wes Craven said, do the thumbs up. And that's the take they used. So he goes, okay, we'll kill you. Maybe we won't kill you. So maybe it was the same thing with him. But excuse me, he's not nearly as likable as Dewey.
Not yet. They didn't write a lot for him. I really wanted her to survive. Her death was meaningless.
How did she die? I can't even think of it.
When Amber revealed she was the killer, like, you're the killer. No, I'm the killer, bitch. Shoots her.
Oh, she shoots her. That's right. Okay. Yeah.
It was a pointless and meaningless kill. Like, she was the I'd say like the cutest, sexiest one out of the whole, or the whole cast. Like beautiful, beautiful actress, great actress. She showed her range, definitely in the living room scene. And sorry, that was daughter. She's waking up from a nap, I guess. Yeah, so I thought the movie was so I thought her kill was the worst one. Was the worst kill. Like it was pointless. She could have survived. She's like, I don't know.
See, I guess I didn't mind the shooting that much, but when you put it that way, I guess so. Yeah. To go back to something that you mentioned with Judy with her kid, how about Neve Campbell and her kids?
Yes, she's married to Mark, the detective from Scream 3.
Now we don't totally know that though. That's the speculation.
Well, Mark is the detective's first name in Scream 3 is Mark.
But there's millions of people named Mark. Now, a lot of people, Neve Campbell has even said in interviews that when she read the script, she didn't put two and two together. That she didn't even know that was the Mark they were referring to. But okay, let's say that she did get married. So now to go back to your Judy thing with the son with part 4, what about Nev's husband or maybe boyfriend at the time in part 4? Where's Mark in part 4?
They got married. I don't think they got married just yet. I think that was the one.
So they were dating in part 3. They broke up. She wrote the book. Scream 4 happened. Then after Scream 4, in between 4 and 5, they reconnected on Facebook and they started dating again because they live in the same area. And then they got married
at the time.
and had these two or MySpace or whatever it might have been. And then they had these 2 little alleged kids because we never see them. They could be 2 dogs or 2 like little pigs as far as we know. And she's out there doing these walks. So it's like, okay. So once again, I don't necessarily mind all of that, but it's like, and the one that you said with Judy would make sense because in part 4, why wouldn't she be like, I need to go home and see how my 5-year-old son is or something?
Yeah. Cause I think in the movie, they're like all 17, 18. And at the time she would have like, unless she adopted her sister's kid, like you never see, she's at night always with the main cast. So it's like, where the fuck are they? And her death was the first shocking thing in a sense. We all knew she was going to die somehow, but broad daylight, you're going to tell
that was
me
a good one
across the street, but it was a great kill. But you're going to tell me the neighbors across the street, everyone walking in that town, no one was there at that point in time. It's kind of hard to believe. That part's kind of hard to believe.
But well, there's a lot of this stuff. Yeah. I really only liked it. Well, I like the opening scene. I like it with the phones opening and closing the doors. I thought that was good. So I like a little bit of the mimicking of the first film. And I do like that she lives instead of dies, like Drew Barrymore. And so I like that. I like the hospital stuff with Dewey. So with Dewey, when he's walking down that hallway and you see like the gun shells hitting the floor, I liked all that. I liked the girl, younger sister in the wheelchair as she's trying to get out of there. Because so far she seems to be the only one with brains to like, I'm going to get the fuck out of here. And so she's moving down the hallway as quickly as she can. And then you can see Ghostface behind her. It almost reminded me of a couple shots from the original Prom Night. And so there is some stuff in there.
Too. Oh, yeah.
Well, the hospital stuff would definitely be Halloween too. Yeah. The original Halloween too. And so there are elements that I liked in this. It's just overall, I felt the film was flat. And from the people who made it, why is this film so flat? Like Wes Craven, it's wide shots, it's colorful, the camera's moving. I mean, every film, you just like, you're immersed into this world. And I get this isn't Wes Craven. It's a totally different thing. But everything in this movie felt flat. There was all medium shots. It was all close-ups. It was flat. It was almost like that red line behind me. Like every once in a while, it would go dink, and then it would go back to being flat again. It's just flat.
I will tell you, it was a breath of fresh air because they didn't use the fucking glowing throughout the movie like they did in 4. I really like the darkness, the dark tint to this film. I love the cinematic shots. They were great during the hospital stuff. I thought that was like, when they were there. I mean, I think they probably storyboarded it, but they didn't realize how good it would come out. I liked the introduction of in the mask, the little clip or the button, the red button where Ghostface talks. It's like boom, masking your whole voice. But the thing is, to me, with that is that's definitely unrealistic because even though you have a voice changer, you're still going to hear a tone of your voice. Like that.
Well,
so
that's where I think that like you said, it's a film. So even in the first movie, if they're holding it up like this, it's not going to just sound like Ghostface. You're still going to hear Billy or Stu. And then in the other ones, they got it to where it could mimic other people's voices.
Yeah,
which doesn't make a lot of sense because where would you get those voices? But if you want to look at it in Scream 5, where they're doing the things on the neck, if you remember like Star Trek: The Next Generation, all they do is hit the thing on their chest, which to me made no sense. So this itty bitty little thing is your communicator for everything.
Yeah.
And really all it is just something that's just pinned onto your suit. So, okay, I guess in Star Trek, if you could just hit this little thing instead of having like a communicator that flips open, which would be the original, thing on the mouth.
Yeah, like I guess the originals. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess this would be like this for Next Generation. So it's like,
up. Yeah.
Yeah. So this would be like, oh, hello there. Hi. I guess. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess they're trying to do something different.
Yeah, that's just where we got to go with, it's a movie. We got to remember that. But I think my rating, okay, so not my rating just yet, but I think the way it ended was good, and I'm okay with it if they don't have a Scream 6. I do hate the fact that they use H-18s with their marketing. Like, what was wrong with Scream 5? Like, even though they did it with the V is longer, but still, what is wrong with Scream 5? Now, like say my grandkids want to rewatch Scream, they're going to have to look up the dates to make sure it's the right in sequence. Like, I hate that, man. I really fucking hate that.
Well, they do make a comment about that in the film, because the film is just, remember, Stab 8 is Stab.
It's the prequel.
They just call Stab 8 Stab, and that's on the TV where they go, why don't they just call it Stab 8? My problem with that is the two killers, the age that they are, I don't think would be as pissed about it as somebody my age. Because those characters weren't even born when Scream came out.
I don't think they were actually in life, other than some of the older ones were.
Yeah. So for me, when you're calling the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre just Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and they just omitted the at the beginning, that pisses me off. Because even though I wasn't, I was born, but I wasn't old enough. I was 10 when the original one came out. I saw the sequel in the theater and the third one, and blah blah blah. But it's, for somebody my age, it's more of a personal thing, because it's like, wait, I was raised on these movies of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but now still the worst is Halloween. There's 3 Halloweens. Now your grandkids are going to be really confused. And what do they call the next Scream movie? Screams?
I think
Scream Returns?
Screams. Speaking of Scream Returns, the fan film that was distributed worldwide via the company that distributes my films. And I had a...
Wait, I got to do the eye roll.
Yeah.
Self-plugging.
No, that was unintentional. And the fact that they did it kind of makes me question even sending more films to them, because that's really shady, in all honesty, for a fan film to get distribution like that and make profit. That's insane. But Scream Returns, I actually am the one that posted it on Facebook, where you can buy it and everything else. And then it kind of blew up. I think I made them money because like several of my friends bought copies of it. Even Dustin bought a copy of it, and I told him, I was like, dude, don't be a dumbass. Like go to YouTube, watch it with the subtitles because it's a French film that have English subtitles, but it's
Oh.
sold in America. What? What? So yeah, and they used mods from GTA 5 and GTA like San Andreas and stuff. And it's like, how can you get away with that? Like I give props to the filmmakers, like making a Scream fan film, and they use the metallic mask in it and everything. But like fan films aren't supposed to be distributed. And as a filmmaker, are both of us as we are, we know that fan films are passion projects. They aren't, I don't want to say they're not real projects because they are, but that's paying homage to the original creators. And if you're going to get distribution for a fan film, then you need to pay the original writers their fees and the creators of the franchise, like any resemblance to anything like that from, even though, I mean, as you know, like some of like a film you did, the original character for that, the posters that the filmmaker creates for it is literal stolen images from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And I don't know how people get away with that and getting it out there using that market material. I think if a film is going to be made just for YouTube, that's fine. But to be distributed worldwide, that's something else. And if someone takes a fan film and sells it on their personal thing, then that's on them. Like they're just, putting it out there, and but that's just me.
Well,
I don't
yeah. I mean, if you're a fan of a series and you want to make a fan film, go ahead. Just don't make any money off of it.
Right.
That's
and
what you have to realize.
Right. And in order to get around that is, if you do make money on it, it has to go back into production and production costs. Like you can make the movie and sell it, but those funds go back into the money that was put in, maybe from an investor or something. That's the only way you can do it. Like you can't profit from making the movie because that is just volunteer work at that point. I love fan films. I love fan films, but sometimes they're not that good.
No, they're hit and miss. They're definitely hit and miss.
Yeah. I mean, they got a couple of them coming out, like the Sawyer Massacre. I'm looking forward to that one. I think there's a couple like Jason ones coming out. I'm friends with one of the, I think the guy that played Jason in like the big one that blew up. I think it's, I forgot what it's called, but Bjorn, I think he played Jason in it, and it was a good fan film. But yeah, anyway, so back to Scream. My rating for this movie was like an 8.9 out of 10. But after thinking about it and me wanting a sequel, which I'm okay if they don't, but it's a 6.7, 6.8 out of 10 for me for the rating, because I love Scream and I want to see the franchise go on. I really do. Hell, in fact, I want to see a real season 3 of Scream the TV series. I want closure. I want to know who the other fucking killer was.
That's not, unfortunately, that's probably never going to happen.
Maybe, but I mean, do a fucking comic like Smallville season 11. Do something for the fans. They said, screw us, we're just going to remake it and put these other actors in, put Billy from Power Rangers in it. Like, come on, man. Like give the fans what they want. They don't want another Scream 3 season 2. We want a Scream season 1 and 2 sequel season 3. Let's do a TV special, like something. They don't have to spend an entire season on it. Just give us that fucking closure on who the last killer was. and tie up, Emma's story with Brandon James, and maybe we finally see Brandon James for who he is, and he's not the killer, because it was a love interest of her mother, like it wasn't. I want that closure. So anyways, 6.8 out of 10 for Scream 2021. 22, sorry.
Well, I'll say some things and then I'll give my rating on it. It's Scream, the whole franchise, and I guess that would include 5, have been a huge thing for me since they started. Scream and the Silent Night, Deadly Night films basically helped me make Xmas. Without those films, I would have never made Xmas. So the Scream stuff is very important to me. I was even on the set of Scream 2 without even knowing it. I just walked into it. And it's the scene where they're at the, it's when they're in Pasadena and they're on the street at the construction site and the cop car crashes and they have to get through the front window and Ghostface is unconscious. So I used to work at Tower Records and I would walk home every night and it was about a mile. And that street is one street down from where the parade is normally. And so that's a popular street. It's like an art street in a way. There's flower shops.
Like the art district type of
type of street. Yeah. And so one night I was walking home and all of a sudden there was all this construction gear but there was no construction going on. And I thought it was really bizarre. And I thought, well, this is weird, and kind of walked around the stuff looking at it. I'm like, oh, okay. Didn't really think much of it. Walked past it, went home. Next thing I know, I'm watching Scream and there it is. I walked through the set of Scream and didn't even know it at the time because there's the flower shop, there's the art gallery, there's my God, I walk down that street every night. So for me, these films, and that's why with like part 3, I hated Jay and Silent Bob being in it. Hated it with an utter passion, and I still do. It takes me out of the movie. And I don't mind Wes Craven and stuff being in Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back because it's a comedy. It's meta. It's all, that's fine. But with Scream, it just destroys it for me. For me, Scream 4 is basically perfect. I really like Scream 4. It's my second favorite out of the series.
Minus the filter. Minus that filter, man. That filter was trash.
Wait, filter?
Yeah, when you watch it, when you rewatch it, there's a glow filter on it on every shot. It's like this glare type of
for part 4.
For part 4, yeah.
I'll have to look for that because I think it looks beautiful. I think it looks great. I mean, it's one of I mean, and to me, that's what part 5 should have looked like. Granted, and so that's the thing is that this series has meant so much to me. And Wes Craven was going to do. He was actually signed to do 5 and 6. But then, of course, he died. So if these guys end up doing, 5, 6, 6 and 7, okay, that's fine. I would like the series to continue. I'd like to see more Scream films to look forward to each year, as long as they don't end up like the new freaking Halloween movies that suck. And even though I did like the first Halloween, it was a nice, tight 90 minutes. Not everything was explained, which I really liked. Great soundtrack. I liked it. It had its problems, but it was solid compared to some of the other Halloween movies. Halloween Kills stinks. It is awful. Awful. If I have to hear Evil Dies Tonight again, I'm going to freaking go berserk.
Yeah. That one killed it for me though. Like I loved all the kills. I loved how violent he was. He just didn't give a fuck. And then all the LGBT people rose up, oh, he doesn't like, gays or whatever. And I'm like, yo, they were living in his fucking house, man. He's gonna kill you. Like, did you not see part 6? Like,
but why does anybody care? I don't understand. That's okay. So to go back to the first Halloween, that's what I liked about it, is the one guy, the teenager, goes, why is this such a big deal? He killed like 3 people. Compared to today, what does it matter? So in part 2, when like the 2 guys are in the house, the 2 gay guys are in the house, and like, do you know whose house this is? Who cares? What does it matter? So what?
Yeah.
And if this was based in any sort of reality, because since the other films don't exist, they probably would have torn down that house and built a gas station on it, or a park or something like that. So
in real world,
Yeah, and so that stuff annoyed me. I mean, I just hated it. So as long as the Scream stuff, and I'll say, okay, fine, Scream 5 is like Halloween, like the new Halloween. Okay, that's fine. Now don't do Scream 6 like Halloween Kills. Don't do that. Don't make it 100.
Yeah, don't do that. Yeah,
don't
no.
No, just keep going the route that you're going, and we should be okay. So, and like I said, I did watch it twice, and I got to give it, if we're going, 1 out of 10, I got to give it maybe a 3.
Ooh.
Maybe when I watch it on Blu-ray, because I will buy it because I own all of them.
Same here.
Yeah. Maybe I'll give it a 4 when I actually watch it on my, But it's
what I think would change it, in all honesty, is probably the special features. Like when you see the behind the scenes stuff on how they were, how they. That's what, and that's another thing too. I think my whole reasoning behind films change is because of how they were made, how they, when they explain everything, and then like, oh, that's why they did this. And then my rating goes up. Especially like special effects and stuff. It's some of the, the new Mortal Kombat. Like I bought the Blu-ray for Black Friday, which was like $5, and it was like a special 4K edition. They explain everything and the special features, and it makes your appreciation for the movie go up.
I would agree.
I'm so much a fan of special features. Like what's funny is like most of my films don't have special features, but like I love special features on behind the scenes and seeing the actors as themselves, just being normal people like you and me. And that's another thing too. I like, it's just like, even with us, I make found footage, horror nights, whatever. Like I'm just me 100% all the time. And people will be like, I thought you'd be, have an ego, which we all have egos, but like they thought it'd be like, get away from me, like I don't want to be bothered, peasant, but when they're actually just normal people. And I'll tell you what, Jenna Ortega, this actress, she has a bright future. She just came out with a new movie on Prime called or Max, The Fallout. And I haven't seen it yet, but from the trailer, it made me want to cry. Like she's destined to be a great actress. She was.
That's what I think kind of bummed me out in a way. Is why is the younger actress that's playing the sister outshining the main star of the movie? The main star should be outshining everybody, and the main star is a piece of wood. It's like,
I don't want to say she was a little one-dimensional, but I mean, look what she had to deal with. She's seeing like apparitions of her dead father that she never met.
Then she should be better.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to disagree.
Everybody else did fine.
I'm not going to agree. I will agree to disagree. I don't know. I just think I think she did a good job. She didn't do the best job, but I think with what she had to handle, carrying the torch of the new Sydney.
I'm trying to get to your girl there. Her, if that makes sense of where I'm pointing. Yeah, the one who had the dyed hair. Even she did a better job. Yeah, her. Yeah, the one who got shot. Yeah, she even did a better job than the lead actress, and she's barely in the movie.
I don't know why they cast, this. I mean, she's the new Sydney. So,
no way. Yeah. Nev Campbell, when she did Scream, she'd done The Craft. She wasn't even on Party of Five yet. She'd done The Craft. And they were so impressed with her on The Craft that they got her for this. Like we don't have to go any further. And she is Sydney.
Yeah.
And Nev Campbell has even said, and I don't know if this is, just her playing with us, but she says that no matter how many sequels they make, Sydney will never be killed because she's a survivor. If she does die, then that kind of negates everything in the other movies. So that's what, yeah, she is it. She's the continuous final girl, no matter, even if there's the new Sydney, like the actress who I think is a piece of wood. Even if she does come back in the next 2 movies, she's never going to match, Sydney. She'll never be Sydney. Never, at all. Never.
I think we just need to see her grow as much, just like Nev Campbell did throughout the
But Nev didn't have to.
films.
But she went into it fine. We knew exactly who that character was. We
she
liked
went
her
in
from that moment on.
Yeah, she was cock-locked and ready to rock, in all honesty. And then what I love about the franchise and the evolution of Sydney is her innocence to badass evolution. It's just, and another thing I will say, the legacy characters could have stayed out of Scream 5. You take them out, you take that whole plot out, it's just a regular slasher. It was definitely a cash grab because the way they almost killed off Gail, that was kind of bullshit. That's when I thought she was the killer. Like, oh,
well, they did that
one shot.
Kind of part 4. Well, part 2, she gets shot. She gets shot in the side, and she's not.
Yeah, she does. Yeah.
So she gets shot in the side twice, which they don't even mention. In part 5, you'd think that she'd be like, "Fuck! This is the second time I've been shot in the side."
Yeah.
And then she got stabbed in the shoulder.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that didn't make sense, but we're as people watch our movies, we'll say the same thing. They'll say, "Oh, that didn't make sense. Why did that happen? They could have done it this way." We're all going to be there is no perfect movie other than It's a Wonderful Life. I think It's a Wonderful Life is like flawless. But there is really no perfect movie. There is no, other than Spider-Man, No Way Home, which is perfect.
Talk about a cash grab.
And the most flawless movie ever, Wonder Woman 84.
Oh God! So, now I know you're pulling my leg. You're punking me.
Oh, yes. Let's talk about the block that you gave me because you didn't realize it was me. Because I was like, "I'm gonna find you." When you said
I did. No, I did not like that. No.
Yeah.
Because I've been threatened in the past. I've had people threaten me,
but I didn't have your name as my name for everyone. And he went on a rant about Wonder Woman 84.
I hated Wonder Woman 1984. Hated it.
And I was fucking with him on Facebook, and he blocked me on my phone and on my text and everything. Like,
I liked Wonder Woman. I think Wonder Woman's a great film.
The first one made me cry at the very end. Like the love that was a great movie. I hope. Woman 3.
Okay, so with you saying that you cried, I'm going to go back to Scream. When people sat there and said that they watched it and they cried, of course, I know what scene they were talking about, which is Dewey. It's kind of like in Ghostbusters Afterlife, when Egon shows up as the ghost, like, I cried. Why did you cry? What would make you cry? Like one. No, I'm sorry. I didn't cry when Dewey died. I didn't cry when Egon came on screen. It's like, why? Why are you crying?
I cried myself. I'm not gonna lie about it. I sent a picture to my friend to prove I was crying. Like, I didn't think
it's the silliest thing to me. It's like watching the film Gravity and going, "Oh my God, when I left the theater, I'm so happy I wasn't in space." No, you're in a theater, man.
At the very end, that was some intense shit.
But you're not in space. I don't know why. I don't understand the crying thing. When people say I laughed and I cried, I don't get it.
You need to immerse yourself into these films. The next film, the big movie you want to see, I think you should just immerse yourself into that fantasy. I think that's where it is too. It's a lot of fantasy and childhood dreams. I loved Afterlife. I know you didn't like it too much the second time, but the whole nostalgia.
It's very poorly written. It's poorly written.
Oh my God.
And I do, when I go into movies, I look at directing, editing, producing, writing, primarily the writing. And that's what I went into with Scream is the same thing. Is you have to, if you're of that mindset, you have to. It's just like Indiana Jones. If Raiders of the Lost Ark takes place after Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, and in Indian Raiders of the Lost Ark goes, I don't believe any of that superstitious mumbo jumbo. Dude, you only had a couple years ago. You were around it always. You were almost killed by Hocus Pocus Mumbo Jumbo. So you should believe in it.
Yeah, 4 we don't talk about. Definitely the skull crystal. What the I feel like the South Park episode, they raped us with that movie. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
I mean, I think that people get caught up, and I mentioned this in the Ghostbusters Afterlife thing that I did. People get caught up in nostalgia, and you're told you need to like it, so you're going to like it. It's if it's Ghostbusters, you're a dad, you're going to take your little kid to Ghostbusters because you went as a kid when you saw it and you love Ghostbusters. So now your kid has to like it because you liked it. And now you have to like it because the studio is telling you that you have to like it. And nobody will listen to, is this a good movie or not? You can enjoy a bad movie. That's fine. But Ghostbusters Afterlife is poorly written. It's a mimic of the very first film. That's all it is.
Can we agree that it is a million times better than a piece of shit 2017 one?
I'm going to correct you, 2016, because I'll never forget it. And yes, and I will even say that Ghostbusters 2016 had a lot to do with Trump getting into office. So, you know, we're not going to get political, but that's one of the reasons why I hate the film, is that they went political when they shouldn't have. And that pissed off a lot of people who then went and voted for Trump. So Ghostbusters 2016, on top of being a bad movie, is bad at politics. So it's awful.
Wait,
it's not.
I'm trying to see, like the way they went about it, depicting women. Is that
no?
I don't get.
So Paul Feig, Melissa McCarthy, and I'm blanking on her name, but the blonde who kind of played like the Egon character.
Oh, Katie McKintrick.
Yes,
Katie.
Those three people went on talk shows saying that they support Hillary, and that Ghostbusters 2016 is a Hillary movie, and that if you don't like it, you're a misogynist, and you're going to go vote for Trump.
Oh,
and
Jones did that too. The black girl, Jones.
Yeah, Jones. Well, Jones, was all about the female aspect of it, and also like the African American part of it. But it's just, it became so political with that film that it pissed off a lot of people to maybe go vote for somebody they were on the fence for, and so you shouldn't do that.
Stretching. I think it's stretching it. I see your point. I think it's kind of stretching it a little bit. I think it was just a bad film in general.
Well, and on top of that, yes, it's absolutely horrible.
The effects, the graphics were great. It's just a story, like and then the end credits, like, what is Zool? What is Zool? Like, get the fuck out of here, man! And you killing off like Bill Murray, you know, and you pay tribute to Harold Ramis with just a statue of his head.
Well, like, you threaten Bill Murray to sue him if he doesn't do this, because he has a contract with the studio. So he didn't want to be there. He didn't want to do it, which is why his character sat in a chair the entire time. You know, he didn't have to do anything.
Do a 3. A 3. Answer the call is answer the call. It's in the universe, but it's like the DC extended universe. It's not in. There's no timeline. It's crap.
If they had done something, and I'll make this brief so we can get back to Scream. If they had done something like, let's say at the very beginning, the firehouse is still there, and you see on the wall all the different people that were Ghostbusters from part 2 forward. So they were men, women, they were white, they were black, they were Asian. Sometimes there were 3 women, sometimes there were 2 men and like 3 women. Sometimes there were 3 men and 1 woman. It doesn't matter. They show all the different Ghostbusters, and that leads us up to these people for 2016. I think that would have gone over much better. But by them throwing away the other 2 movies and then bitching about it when Afterlife comes out, it's like, fuck off. You know, you didn't even want to be part of that universe. So now I'll go back to Scream, which is, I am glad that they didn't just remake the first film, that it is different.
Agreed.
So I will say that it is a different story in all of that.
I will say I like the fact that they made the new phrase canon of requel. I never heard that before. I think it's going to be canon to this film.
I've now heard people using it.
I haven't. I don't. I've requel. When they were talking about it, I'm like, are they making shit up? But
well, I think they are, or maybe it's just brand new. But I've heard YouTubers use it. So they may have taken it from the movie, or maybe it already existed, and now people are just using it more. But I think people are now definitely using it. So, but because most people would just go, "Oh, it's a remake sequel." They just shortened it. I've always said remake sequel.
I love it has that Jay and Silent Bob the reboot like feel to it when she's explaining it, because when they're in the comic shop in the new one, he's explaining what a reboot is, and then like Jason Mewes talks about the entire movie. And I love they probably kind of took that dialogue in a sense of explanation and brought it into it, which kind of ties the third one to this one in a sense. I liked it. I like that part.
I hated reboot. I hated Jay and Silent Bob reboot. I absolutely hated it.
Oh my gosh.
Everything from Clerks 2 forward, garbage from Kevin Smith. It's Red State was fine. I liked Red State, but that's about it.
You didn't like Clerks 2?
No, everything. Well, okay. Clerks 2 forward. Clerks 2, okay. I hated when I first saw it. I thought I hated it.
You didn't like Yoga Hosers?
I've never seen it because I don't want to. Because I've seen his other films. So if there's 6 movies and I've seen 5, I don't need to watch it.
It's trash. I'm gonna just tell you, it's a boot. The actors forget they're in Canada and their accent goes off and on throughout the whole thing. It's annoying.
It's like this. Start doing. This goes back to something that you mentioned earlier about special features. Is I saw Clerks 2 in the theater. I hated it. Kevin Smith could not relate to people at all because Kevin Smith is rich. So how can you relate to people working at a fast food place? You can't. So I didn't like it. I watched it again, but only a couple of years ago, maybe, and still didn't really like it. But then I watched the documentary, that like 70-minute documentary that he did on it. Yeah. Now I like the movie. I'm like, wow, now I understand why he made it. Now I understand the process of what he was thinking, because Jersey Girl bombed. And he wanted to go back to the beginning. So for me, his career would have been perfect. It was Clerks, Clerks 2, nothing else.
Yeah.
So everything after Clerks is whatever. Or Clerks 2.
And Brian O'Halloran roasted me live on a show about a year ago. You know who that is, right? The main guy, Clerks. Yeah. He roasted me. It was my fault. I got roasted. My volume wasn't up on my microphone, but it was great. It was that part was really cool to be roasted by that guy. But yeah. Anyways, I love Scream and the franchise, and I hope there's a 6. But if not, I'm okay with it.
I've heard they're doing 2 more. That's the word. My prediction is if they do 2 more, I think part 6, I think Gail will die, because at some point Courtney Cox is going to be too expensive or just not want to do it anymore. So she'll probably die. And then part 7, Nev said that, that Sydney would never die. So, okay, so maybe she'll survive, or she'll sacrifice herself. Or maybe she'll sacrifice him in part 6, and then Gail will survive to 7.
Yeah, sacrificing is a lot different than getting killed.
Right.
I think that if it's done classy, if it's in a classy manner, unlike Halloween Resurrection's opening scene, I think it'll be done. It'll be good. And the sad thing is, speaking of Halloween Resurrections, is Jamie Lee was okay with it. She was just, how she's.
That was her deal. I watched an interview with her, and she said that the reason why she did Halloween H2O is because she got to kill Michael. And she said, this is it. This is the definitive ending.
Yeah.
And they said, yes. But then they switched it. The film made so much money that somehow Michael had the time to switch with the ambulance driver. So then she said, okay, fine, I'll come back, but now I got to die.
Right.
And she goes, I want to die in the beginning, but I'll be in it. I want to die in the beginning. And that's what happened. It
like the whole movie, man. They made it. I remember those trailers. But anyways.
Yeah. So if they kind of continue it like that with the Scream stuff, I would be okay with them getting off one legacy character in each film and then doing it that way.
but but wait, I would be perfectly okay if it really becomes super meta in part 6, to where the cast of Scream the series and Scream come together. I would be okay with that. I am perfectly okay with that.
I forget. Did the third Scream series did that was that Woodsboro, or did that take place in a different place? I forget.
That was like in Cal. It was, well, they're all in Cal. No, actually, the first 2 seasons are not in California, but got it. I don't forget. I forget. I think it was like Detroit or some shit like that. Like some urban. It was urban. So it wasn't Cali. I don't think. He goes to college in Cali. At the very end of the series, you see that. But other than that, you don't know. I don't think you really kind of dive into that. Other than it, literally, they live in a ghetto, and there's a killer killing everyone.
So, talk about kind of being racist. The third Scream that came out that was completely separate from the other two. I heard about it as the Black Scream. Oh yes, they're coming out with a new Scream series called It's the Black Scream. I'm like, what is the Black Scream? And then I looked up the cast, and it's primarily a lot of Black actors and actresses and stuff. Yeah, and I'm like, well, that's kind of mean, to call it that. So not calling the other ones the White Scream. Why is that the Black Scream?
Well, here's the thing for fans. Me, I am a huge, and I could probably outdo you on this on my knowledge. Which, yes, I'm challenging you. Maybe we'll have like a filmmaker challenge, but of whodunit mysteries. The official Black Scream. There's actually 2. One is called Cutthroat Alley, and the other one.
Oh, I own that movie.
Oh, you do? Okay, so that is a Black Scream, and the other one is April Fools.
Okay, I know of that, but I haven't seen it. Yeah, I know of it.
Yeah, it has a yellow orange cover poster art. So if you fans out there, you want to see, I say it's more of a companion book to Scream season 3, which is Cutthroat Alley. And I saw this thing on like VHS. I was a huge fan. Once Scream came out, man, I went apeshit as I got into my teenage years of finding whodunit mysteries. That's how I found out about Cherry Falls and all the cult stuff. They have Bloody Murder 2. Camp Blood, the original Camp Blood trilogy is whodunit mystery, and then it went off the deep end with some supernatural shit with new directors. But I'm sorry, just one director. I know. Yeah, I know. I mean, I could film my entire living room right here, and it would still be better than that. Just saying. Because that's pretty much what you're watching. You're watching someone walk around town, going shopping, watching movies of the director's movies. Like, no. Anyways, no. Okay. Anyways, no negativity. I'm just saying it went off the deep end. The rest of the franchise. I love Camp Blood and David Sterling. I'd love to work with him, but I think some of the choices for the director choices on certain things is just like
questionable.
Why? Yeah, it's like, huh?
Because they could get the film done.
Anyway, yeah. So if you want to see a whodunit mysteries, obviously urban legend. I wouldn't say I Know What You Did Last Summer, but technically, yes, maybe the second one, definitely the second one. But there are so many. Cutthroat, they got cut. The Woods, like.
There's if you want to talk about Scream ripoffs, there's a ton of them. Yeah.
They're some of them are good. That's the thing. Like they're just fun. Oh, Bleed. Dustin loves Bleed. I gotta make him a copy of it. He doesn't have it, so I gotta get that to him. Not bootleg. Wait, that was boot. Anyways, I just got a copy. Okay, I'm not telling you how I'm doing it. But they also have a Final Stab from David Duchovny. And the story is with Final Stab it was originally called, it's called Final Scream in Europe. And he actually pitched this idea for Scream 3. Obviously, Dimension Films turned it down because it just wasn't their style. And he made the movie, and it's a whodunit mystery. And you can find it on YouTube, and they sell it on DVD. I think Blu-ray. Scream Factory just released it on, or last year or two, on Blu-ray. Like there's a lot of whodunit mysteries. So if you do like Killer Behind a Mask, I would not suggest Googling it with IMDb because Kevin, they'll tie in Kevin Williamson with whodunit mysteries, and then you get like H2O, which he wrote, which was a great movie. You get Bride of Chucky and all those other films that aren't Scream related. So if you want whodunit mysteries, I'm probably just gonna have to make a website on like what movies are similar to it, like comparison. And I won't recommend Backlot Murders. They show the killer in the fucking trailer. That pissed me off.
Well, apparently, according to the poster behind you, the killer is on this poster.
Yeah, correct.
There it is. But it just says killer. See, they're fooling us. Killer, not killers. But and killer is on this poster.
Third killer. There's a third killer. I'm gonna say that forever. And it's gonna come out in Scream 6 and 7. You'll see.
Well, yeah, we'll definitely see. So, and I look forward to watching it on Blu-ray. I mean, maybe like I said, I never liked Scream 3. I just didn't. It wasn't my type of thing, even though it was very Hollywood, and you got the making of a stab movie, and Roger Corman's in it, and Lance Hendrickson. It was just the weakest of the 4 Scream movies. But now that I rewatched it, I actually kind of like it now. I like the film.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I agree. Yeah.
It has 2 of the best Scream lines in any of the movies in it. It has when Parker Posey gets socked in the face and she's on the ground and she goes, "My lawyer liked that," which is a great line. And when they're walking in the studio and the 2 detectives are there and they go, "Do you think the murder has anything to do with the film?" And the detective goes, "He was stabbed. He's making a film called Stab." Those are 2 great lines, and they're in what some people consider to be the worst of the series. So I don't think it still may be if you had to rank them, but I don't know. I like it a lot better now. Minus Jay and Silent Bob. And Wes Craven's in the movie too, so I don't know if you could put that. He's in that line with Jay and Silent Bob. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So does Scream sit in the world of Kevin Smith, which then sits in the world of Wes Craven? Or all of them?
That sits in the world of a meta film that doesn't exist called Stat.
So yeah, possibly. So all right, man. Well, anything else you would like to say? And then I'll let you go.
No, I'm a part of I got a couple of things we're working on right now. Guys, go check out a movie called My Ripped Off Movie. You can find it on Facebook. There's an online campaign going. I'm in a film called Elp. We got one more scene in the film, so check that out. Yeah, it's a local film. It's pretty cool. I can't reveal too much about it. It's very, very well done, and I can't wait to see the product. That's actually what the meeting is after after this is have a production meeting here. So with some editing stuff, I love doing all types. Let's see, I'm going to be uploading again because there was a lot of confusion with the Paranoia tapes 1 through 9. I'll be
there are a lot of them and a lot of different versions.
Yeah, but it's Dustin says, "Oh, you George Lucas did." No, my thing is I made it better and watchable, and make sense. Because if you watch them at the original cuts in order, it's like there's no tie-ins. There's a lot of missed opportunities that I fixed, and that's why I did it, Dustin. But I have Night Tales that I got to finish the credits on, and Night Tales 2, which I'm preparing to get here shortly. So yeah, I got a lot of stuff coming up, I guess, filming wise. We're going to be finishing some Paranoia tapes, 10 through 15 this year. PTX with Joe Lujan. I actually have to have a call with him this week. And there may be a spinoff, which should be called Contradiction, filming soon. And yeah, I'm trying to think of every project that I got to work on. I have an interview with Jason Horton coming out soon. I'm trying to think of plug every single thing I can. My Vinyl Asylum, check that out on iTunes and Spotify, and all streaming services. Check out, Axmas 3 and 4 starring Jack Hunter coming soon.
I don't know those. I have no idea what those are.
You don't know what those are? Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I heard they're crap,
yeah.
but that's just the word.
Yeah, I heard the director, hires people, anyways.
Director's a jackass. The director is a total jackass.
Yeah, he's a dick. He's kind of a dick. Yeah. Gosh, man. Oh yeah. Before I go, you guys been seeing me do this. This is a special edition, apparently, of the Scream Cup that fans are going apeshit over. And guess what? I got one, bitches.
Oh.
So. Ooh. All right, guys. I'm Jack Hunter. 2 filmmakers reviewing 1 film.
There you go.
There you go, Jack.
Signing off. All right, everybody. That's it. I will see you on the next one. Bye, everybody. Bye. Hey, everybody. Thanks for hanging out after the video. And thank you for watching the very first Dark Park Films sponsored video. And who is that sponsor? Well, I've now learned if I do this with my hands, they go to the right area. There we go. That would be Wildlife Command Center Coffee, and you can purchase it right there. You can go to their website, which is buyWCC.com, and pick up their coffee. They have 2 blends, which I'm going to show you now. The first coffee is this one right here. This is a breakfast blend. It's 10 ounces, and it is a medium ground. And it does say, and it's breakfast, like I said, and this is what it says right here. It says, early bird can catch the worm. So there you go, a breakfast blend coffee that helps you catch the worm in the morning. And I really like this one. I'm more of a breakfast kind of blend coffee guy in the morning. So this one I really like. It has that little bit of oomph to it to kind of get you moving, get you up and out. And so I really enjoy this one. But that doesn't mean that I don't like the other one, which is this one right here. This is a dark roast. It is also 10 ounces. And both of these are $7.99 at their website. Pretty good price for 10 ounces worth of ground coffee. This one is, it's a little darker. So it's, I think it's better for drinking at night. Maybe if you're, writing a screenplay or if you're filming, this has got that oomph, that double punch to get you going. So this is one that I also recommend. I like both of these quite a bit, but I kind of do, the breakfast in the morning and then the dark more at night. So I recommend both of these quite a bit. And how did I find out about these two coffees here? And how did I find out about Wildlife Command Center? Well, when I was working on Night of the Zomghouls, there was a box of coffee that was just sitting there filled with coffee. And we didn't know what to do with it. Like, whose is this? Who brought it? Why is it here? And so we just kept going to the store and buying coffee. And then one day I said, why don't we just get the coffee out of the box and use that instead of, wasting money on going to Smith's or whatever and picking up coffee. So we did. We did not realize that it was the Wildlife Command Center coffee and that it, was sponsoring the movie. And it was great coffee. Everybody loved it. and we just went right through it. By the last day of filming, this coffee was gone. And I went and found out, about Wildlife Command Center, asked if they would like to be a sponsor for Dark Park Films, for their coffee. As many of you know, I love coffee. I love coffee mugs. And so this was a perfect match. And Wildlife Command Center is great with animals. So they provide a great service for rescuing animals. So it's kind of that double whammy for me, where coffee, helping animals, you can't go wrong. And they were even cool enough to send me, get in there, a coffee mug, because they knew that I liked coffee mugs. And right now, I don't get that. A little bit. I'm going to go on the keyboard, but that's their dark blend, because I'm recording this at night. So I am actually drinking that while recording. Also, one thing that you can get at their website, which is cool, is you can get this. There you go. This pocket knife, which is $9.49. And this is pretty cool because it has their name on it. Wildlife Command Center, we can catch it. And this is what it looks like. Put that down there. There we go. Fully out. So you're getting like the bottle opener, you got the corkscrew, you got a screwdriver, you got a blade, and then you got this little hook thing that you can pop it into something that doesn't have a tab, and then the liquid or whatever in there will come out. So this is pretty cool. And I'm just going to keep mine in my car, because you never know. You might need a pocket knife. So please support them. I'm going to have links down below, where you can, check out just the Wildlife Command Center. I'll also have a link for Wildlife Command Center coffee. And it will basically be for both these guys right here. And please support them. I support them. I think what they do is pretty awesome. And, maybe this coffee will be on your set or in your kitchen. It will definitely be, on my set, in my kitchen. I know that. So please, once again, I'm going to show you these. Please go to their website and pick up their coffee and make it part of your day or night, depending on which one you like. So that'll be about it. I really appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out with me. And yeah, so thank you. And once again, please support my channel. Please support the Wildlife Command Center. And I will catch you later. Bye.